Dobson has selected his DHL Stormers side. 50 up for Joseph Dweba in the middle of the front row in Stormers colours. JD Schickerling and Ruben van Heerden in the second row. And then Willie Engelbrecht, the second player to be making his 50th appearance at number 8. Keke Morabe on the side of the scrum with Ben, Jason, Dixon. De Wet and Libbok are the halfbacks. Jean-Luc du Plessis replaces his cousin Dan in the midfield, the latter being injured. Ruhan Nel, the outside centre. And there is plenty of pace and skill in the back three of the Stormers with Gelant, Zas and Hartzenberg. 6-2 split on the bench with an emotional return in jersey 23 for Seabelo Senatla, one of the two backline replacements, along with Springbok scrum half Herschel Jantjies. Pierre Mignoni is the head coach for Toulon, and he has a range of international stars. Kyle Sinckler in the front row, 69 test matches for England. David Ribbans, another English international who'll captain the side this afternoon alongside Halagahu in the second row. Ludlam, Issa and Coulon. And then Dan Biggar, capped 112 times for Wales and for the British and Irish Lions. Mathieu Smaili and Jeremy Sanzel in the midfield. And then the back three is Gabin Villiers, Gaël Dréan and Marius Daumont in the number 15 jersey. More conventional 5-3 selected by Mignoni with Enzo Hervé, Antoine Frisch, who played 40 matches in the colours of Munster in the Vodacom URC before moving to Toulon, and Waini Ngolo, the Fijian international, the third of the three backline replacements. It's a magnificent day in the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium, and over 28,000 tickets sold. The DHL Stormers usually make their home at the DHL Stadium in Cape Town, that being used for the HSBC Sevens World Series event this weekend. So they've decided to move this game to Dweba up the east coast of South Africa, and they have been rewarded with an excellent crowd. Stage is set for round one action, and joining me in commentary for this one is Mthunzi Mabeta.
Thank you, Matthew. A privilege and honor, and what a pleasure it is to be out here in Dweba. What a vibe. Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium is absolutely pumping. First ever Investec Champions Cup clash happening here, and the first time ever Toulon is coming to South Africa. They take on the Stormers. Huge game for both these sides. Form probably on the side of Toulon, but everything to play for. As you see Joseph Dweba, what a player. He's been an asset for the Stormers, celebrating his 50th appearance for them. What a player. He'll be so important as well, being a very aggressive player against an aggressive side.
And Willie Engelbrecht, the second of the DHL Stormers players to be celebrating the milestone of a 50th cap. Captained the Pumas here in South Africa to Currie Cup victory in 2022 before moving down to the Western Cape, and a big responsibility on his shoulders in the back row with newly capped Springbok Ben Jason Dixon and Keke Morabe, who's been one of the form loose forwards for the Stormers so far this season, in a season that has not yet delivered the results that they would have wanted. David Ribbans leading out Toulon, having won over 120 caps in the colours of Northampton in the English Premiership. South African born David Ribbans, schooled in the Western Cape, and 11 test matches for England as well. Neethling Fouché, it's the honour of captaining the Stormers today. An outstanding performance at scrum time against the Hollywood Bed Sharks in the Vodacom URC competition a week ago. A very tightly contested game in Durban, won by the Sharks. The Stormers looking to this match to try and turn their season around.
Interesting styles as well. Similar styles, but the pivots, 9 and 10 for both sides, play with high tempo and have a very good, accurate kicking game. Be interesting to see the effect of Dan Biggar and Manie Libbok. Will he be able to unleash Warrick Gelant, Suleiman Hartzenberg and Leolin Zas? Flyers, the back three, love scoring tries. both very physical. It'll be a toe-to-toe. You saw the determination on Ribbans' face. This one's going to be one you won't take your eyes off of.
Carl Dixon of England, the referee, former Harlequin, and really growing in experience. Had to all held up off the ground. Stormers looking to get it to ground, and they will get the scrum feed. Working hard defensively to keep Gael Grein up off the ground.
That's what it's all about early on in a fixture like this. Pressure rugby, trying to cause and disrupt, get the ball back. Mission accomplished by Toulon, but this is what we're all here for, the scrumming battle. Ali Vermaak and Neethling Fouché were pretty good against the Sharks last week, but they've got a new challenge here. Dany Priso and Sinckler, Teddy Baubigny, those are internationals with so much experience.
Why am I not surprised that a tight forward says this is what we're here for, the scrum battle. Ali Vermaak on the near side, loose head for the DHL Stormers. Up against Sinckler, hugely experienced England international. And down on that side, but available to Paul de Wet. So play away is the call. Cut out ball for Jean-Luc du Plessis, who in turn throws a speculative pass, just kept in the field of play, but it's a gift of possession at first for Toulon, but a rescuing steal over the ball. Some relief there after what could only be described as loose passing from the home side.
Yeah, that's the pressure that Jean-Luc du Plessis will be under at inside centre. He's got to distribute a little bit better than that. That is his strength. And great work from Warrick Gelant to stay nice and frosty on his feet.
Back on the line.
Otherwise, there were some alarm bells over here. Here he is. Great awareness. He could have booted it through, waits for the player to get the ball, and he knows his next job. Fantastic play from the fullback, Gelant.
Joseph Dweba over the 15, and Jean-Luc du Plessis skidding into possession. Carry for Engelbrecht in the midfield. De Wet, Libbok, another cutout ball through the hands of Gelant for Hartzenberg.
Go back.
Lost backwards by Toulon and secured on the ground by Villiers.
No, stay. Thank you.
Serrin.
Don't pin him. Thank you. Ball's not available yet, use your hands. Now use it, please.
It is slow ball for Toulon off the boot of Serrin. And a decent clearance, but Gelant happy to get things going quickly. So too Manie Libbok. Keke Morabe. Strong carry from the open side, and De Wet has that quick ruck ball. Morabe, this time out the back, choosing not to.
His hands. Good play, Toulon.
Libbok. Deep with his restart, and Toulon unable to control, away by Bigger. Grein with the kick downfield, Libbok.
Tackle still made, play on.
Short side for Keke Morabe. Seems to make meters with every carry. Replacement tight head, Sazi Sandi. Then across the face from Gelant, a little juggle there. And Toulon want to play with the turnover ball. A good carry from the captain, Ribbans.
Get advantage over for the knock-on.
Serrin and Bigger through the hands of Sanzel and Villiers. And the advantage was called over for the lost forward, so they'll go back
Maybe.
for a line out.
A little bit scrappy, unorganized from the Stormers so far. The Toulon, on the other hand, playing at high tempo, relishing the opportunity for open play, broken play, and those offloads, top-notch. Dan Bigger, not really kicking for territory, but playing the space, showing his experience.
High tackle. Thank you, Dean.
Well, actually, there's a call that's come from the TMO for a high tackle, so it'll be a penalty to Toulon. And Serran finding Freyan.
Not held.
They are playing at high tempo here, not held in the tackle, so entitled to get back and play. The cross kick from Dan Bigger. Tap back inside for Villiers. Flag up.
Was it already in touch?
Anxious moments.
Okay, thank you. Foot was already on the line, ball was out. Your foot was on the line.
Very, very anxious moments. Dan Bigger, decision-making top-notch. Just kicks it a little bit too high with that cross kick, but it was on, and you could see them practicing this before. You've got to keep your eyes on Baptiste Serran. Loves open space, links up his decision-making as well, right up there. And Toulon looking like they're on fire. Alarm bells perhaps early on for the Stormers.
He went from the mark. Yes, clean out. You okay? Time's enough.
Bit of a running repair for Joseph Dweba. The other thing that needs some running repairs are the jerseys of the Toulon players. I think 3 or 4 of them have lost their numbers already.
Okay. Time back
Matthias Halagahu, Kyle Sinckler, Dany Priso, all without numbers on their backs.
New jerseys, I believe they gave out some fantastic memorabilia to that classic side they used to have with Big Joe captaining them.
Willie Engelbrecht sets a target
off
the back of a back line out ball.
Right, lay down, your player. Okay.
Keke Morabe looking at all sorts of trouble. It will be a Stormers scrum, but he is very uncomfortable. Carl Dixon, quite rightly, very quick onto the whistle to stop play.
Okay, you thought it was a bit close? It was very close. Okay. If it happens again, can I please say that? Of course. Thank you.
Big worry this for Rito Hlungwane, John Dobson, Keke Morabe, an important player for them. They've already been plagued by so many injuries. Front rowers, Steven Kitsoff, Frans Malherbe, and Keke Morabe, one of those players they want to keep healthy. Looks like it's just an uncomfortable coming into that ruck there, but it doesn't look comfortable at all. Such an important player. Usually plays at 8th man. They're trying to turn him into that number 6 position. Remember, Dion Fourie is only coming back in a few weeks. They've lost Nama Klaba and Marcel Theunissen. Good player, very busy. I would have loved to see him in that last 20 minutes. It makes a big impact off the bench. But it's got a big duty on him now.
Twinsy, just you mentioned Nama Klaba. Stormers at the change of season also losing Hachiba Diamani, Dion Fourie to injury, Junior Pokomela. There's a large group of very competent loose forwards who have left the franchise, and their depth being even further tested here.
There's the rush defense. Manie Libbok still struggling to handle it. They need to give him more options. Remember, they don't have a crash ball sort of in. Looking for those offloads, and this is just a replay of that try he scored. Lovely composure. What a finish.
Started his professional career with Rouen and moved to Toulon in 2019. Gabin Villiers, capped 17 times for France. Also a great servant of the French Sevens team. We had such a fabulous season recently.
And you can see early on his skill and talent of Gabin Villiers. Keke Morabe from Welkom Gymnasium, played for the Griffins, played SA Schools for 2 years, just 23 years old, Keke Morabe. Hopefully it's not a serious injury. It looks like it could be a knee, but isn't that just something to marvel at? The turnout here in Gqeberha, awesome, to say the least. I think it must be over 30,000 tickets. Matthew, looking around here, what a vibe.
Just wonderful to see rugby of this quality brought to this city. no test match here earlier in the 2024 season. And a passionate love of the game in this region, as we know so well. Navega and also East London. Think of Lucanio Arm and Makazole Mapipi and these heroes from the Eastern Cape. Rugby has such a strong heritage in the region, and it's wonderful to see an Investec Champions Cup being played here.
100%. Home of the legendary Sia Kolisi. Went to high school just down the road, and Dre High School. And it does look like Keke Morabe will have to wait for perhaps an MRI or something. Hopefully not too serious, but doesn't look good for now. Talented player to look out for, and now real big challenge now for Ritu Shlungwane, and depth in his side. Talking a little bit about how sides usually will save a couple of their more experienced players when they do travel abroad. Home fixtures so important.
Yeah, player load, one of the great challenges for coaches in this competition.
The top-tier teams are going head-to-head in the Investec Champions Cup. Let's break it down to see how the multi-pool format works. The best 8 teams from the URC from South Africa, Ireland, Scotland, Italy and Wales are pitted against 8 from the English Premiership and 8 from France's top 14. That makes 24 clubs drawn into 4 pools of 6, vying for top honours over 8 weekends, 4 in the pool stages and 4 knockout rounds. Each club plays 4 matches against the teams in their pool who do not come through the same league. 4 points are awarded for a win and 2 for a draw, with bonus points for 4 tries or more in a match, or losing by 7 points or fewer. The top 4 in each pool then progress to the knockout. After the round of 16, quarters and semi-finals, 2 teams will emerge to contest the grand final at Cardiff's Principality Stadium on the 24th of May.
So that is the format, and just before we had a look at that, we were just commenting on the challenges of managing player load and the travel in this competition. Neethling Fouché back, having had that blood injury attended to. DHL Stormers travel to play another Investec Champions Cup game next weekend against Harlequins in England. Toulon return home after a week here in the Eastern Cape. And back into their respective competitions. The Vodacom URC for the Stormers, they have a home game against the Lyons, and then a home game against the Sharks, the 21st and the 28th of December. So a jam-packed December, something that rugby fans in South Africa are quickly getting used to. Manie Libbok with the free kick after the pre-engagement from Dany Priso. He was the man who was pulled out by Carl Dixon and played down to halfway. Toulon to the tail of their line out for David Ribbans. The midfield they go. Savin, beautiful ball out the back for Bigger. Villiers once again with the ball in his hands.
No, step back.
Showing great appetite to get the ball out wide.
Advantage offside. Penalty advantage offside.
Well, you spoke before this game about the potential of this back three to create these moments of magic, and all 3 of them involved. The last 3 players to touch the ball in the scoring of that try, 11, 14 and 15. Libbok over the centre of the crossbar. They've found their mojo.
They sure have, and it's those 3 players. Get the ball to them, both sides. Love the wider channels. This is excellent from Leolin Zas back to Warrick Gelant. Cuts in, beats the last defender, and then pins his ears back. Brilliant finish.
Just magnificent. First try in Investec Champions Cup rugby for Warrick Gelant. Some acrobatics from Ruben van Heerden. It was an awkward little ball though for Paul de Vet. Not untidily for him.
Hey, nine.
Libbok for Hartzenberg to chase. Villiers manages to tap it back for Ludlam. And Saran through the middle. Little juggle from Leolin Zas. Caught inside his own in-goal area, carried back.
That man, 31-year-old Facundo Issa, Argentinian, in a little bit of space. Wasn't really sure who was kicking that to, but he did so well to stay alive on the inside, waiting for Leolin Zas.
Control.
And boy, oh boy, did he not absolutely bear hug him when he got it. That kick, miss kick from him. Leolin Zas gets back, but juggles it a little bit. That allows Facundo Issa to keep working on the inside. Fantastic defensive play this.
Great scrum position this for Toulon. They got a big blind side. Jeremy Sanzel away to the right of this scrum. If Sinckler can get a little bit of a shift, well, it's a quick heel. The stretch for the line, that was lost forward though.
On the goal line or over?
The man who set it up, Facundo Issa, the Argentine number 8, he was the one with the quick pick up at the back. He's allowed one stretch to score and lost forward there.
Yeah, Leolin Zas does so well to get in there. Issa does well to get around BJ Dixon. But opportunity lost. Had to score there. And Stormers with an opportunity to exit now. This will be a huge scrum. Stormers will want to just keep it simple and stable, not push for the penalty. Make sure they can get a clean ball to Manie Libbok.
Decent size in goal areas here at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. It gives Libbok plenty of space here off a solid scrum base. That is strong work. It becomes a free exit because Dany Priso is penalized for standing up in the scrum.
Yep, the Cameroonian and Frenchman, Dany Priso, he's a unit. Neethling Fouché standing his ground so well, taking the pressure from that secondary shove.
Let's go. We don't need to have a conversation. Let's go.
Really good engage initially. Priso comes with the pressure, but look at how Neethling Fouché makes sure he holds on to his angle on the inside of Priso, forcing Priso to come around the angle. Good scrummaging from the captain Fouché.
Brilliantly kept in by Daumont, who will now chase the kick of Baptiste Serin. Backwards from Neethling Fouché and gathered by Dixon in Theunissen. JD Schickerling brings a good tackle out of Baubigny. Du Plessis, Vermaak and Engelbrecht. Another clattering carry. Libbok and Gelant. They weren't buying his little show of the ball there. Daumont was in there with the tackle.
Don't pin him. Leave the ball, don't pin him.
And slow to emerge. Theunissen was lining up for the carry. Never held. Tibet. And Libbok. In Van Heerden in the midfield. Here's Libbok again. A cutout ball. Well, it was tapped backwards, but now it's come back for Libbok and du Plessis. Hit hard in the tackle. Was it high? De Vet goes short side. Dropped onto the boot by Suleiman Hartzenberg, and it'll be a Stormers throw.
All smiles, high tempo. They just want to play some rugby out here and express themselves. This is where there might be a high shot. Yeah, gets him on the jaw. Perhaps first contacts with the chest.
Kyles, there's a lot of whiplash in there, but the contact surely is on the chest first. Not surprised that Jean-Luc du Plessis needs a little bit of attention. And you could see from the replay how the neck rocked back from the contact, but the contact itself was on the chest and the ball.
Yeah, great tackle, Kyles round. He does wrap his arm. You can see it coming around there. First contact is with his shoulder, but he's on the ball there.
And he does have to be careful, though, because there's very little bend in that tackle. So had the contact been a fraction to his left, could have been looking at a sanction of some sort.
No, spot on. He'll take those short shots all afternoon, though. Jean-Luc du Plessis, a nuggety player. Brave. Doesn't shy away from the physical stuff.
Stand back on. How many?
Dweba to the center of the line out for Schickerling. And because of the contest, there wasn't much standing in the way of the Stormers more, but they lost the ball forward. It will be a scrum to Toulon.
I felt they lost it. I've got nothing on my side, no call, so I got nothing.
Looking a little bit motivated as well.
I haven't got anything to it.
Bit of a pep in their step, the Stormers. Great response after the knock-on. The response of trying to press up as a line was really good. Inaccurate in the tight, the Stormers so far in this fixture. They'll need to do better than that, but I like this from Joseph Dweba. Great reaction, stops any sort of play, any sort of transition. He's backed up by Paul de Vet, and Ruhan Nel is right there, encouraging.
Let's go, lads, come on. Come on.
The captain on the day, Neethling Fouché, just with a little glance back. The men behind him, imploring them for something special on this Toulon feed.
Set! Oh!
This time the free kick going the way of Toulon. We saw one back in the Stormers 22. This time it's the home side conceding the free kick for not absorbing the hit.
Yeah, exactly that. Perhaps that was that look behind it, that this time let's try to confuse them. The dark arts, you know, option of they'll probably come for us a little bit. Dany Priso with the aggression and that hargy-bargy the last scrum they had. And this time the strategy was not to take the hit, but it's clear for Carl Dixon, and an easy exit then in the end for Toulon.
No contest at the line out. It might have been called as a skew throw had there had been a contest. Van Heerden. Theunissen finds de Vet to his inside. A little slip, bringing that break to an end. Villiers in with the tackle. Libbok filling in at scrum halves. Suleiman Hartzenberg as first receiver, then du Plessis. Gelant. Little grubber kick. Was there a touch on that? No. From Gael Brea. did really well, just shepherded the ball, would have grabbed it if the situation demanded, but happy to let it pass into touch.
And maybe just becoming a little too experimental in the wider channels. One thing that is working for the Stormers is when they build phases, play to that 5th, 6th phase, where Toulon's looking a little bit unorganized.
No contest on the throw to Ribbans towards the tail. Issa. Serrin, charged down by Van Heerden. And the pressure coming from Ruhan Nel, quick to get through onto Domor.
Can't dive on the ball emerging. You can't dive on the ball emerging. You can't dive down.
Soft penalty.
You must be on your feet. You cannot dive down on the ball
Yeah,
emerging.
it's a new law. I think all players will agree as well. Diving on the ball that close to a ruck, protecting the knees from severe injuries that can be caused, never mind the head injuries being so close to boots. So you're not allowed to dive to the ball emerging from a ruck like that.
Yeah,
Again,
I know.
just a little bit heated, no composure from the tight 5 there. An easy exit. This was good pressure from Ruben van Heerden on Baptiste Serrin. Need to see more of that from the Stormers on defense. It pops out and clearly diving onto it. Very dangerous play there, but desperation from the Stormers, which I think the coaching staff will be happy to see.
Down by Coulon. Bigger. Ludlam with the midfield carry. Serrin's kick just holding up into the breeze. A test for Gelant. Does well to send it backwards towards his own try line. Now Dixon. Huge clean on Marius Domor. And the Stormers get an opportunity to build territory.
Momentum switching from side to side, both sides. Not accurate enough with the breakdown, and that just equals opportunities. Stormers need to hold on to the ball here now, apply more pressure. That's when they look their best. Ben Jason Dixon, absolute workhorse, does well to get rid of Issa. Tries to place the ball. That's a great follow-up clean from Ruhan Nel as well, which causes that penalty.
Just having a look at some of the statistics here. 80% of the game played between the two 22s. It is cagey. Down off the Stormers line out for De Vet, who finds Theunissen. Dweba around the corner. Strong carry from the hooker. Du Plessis, Libbok, and then Dixon. Space very quickly closing down on him. They were going a little lateral. He stayed down. Ben Jason Dixon. Already one loose forward lost.
Yeah, and he's one who is just absolutely essential. The nucleus of this forward pack, Ben Jason Dixon. He had the most carries, most tackles as well in their game last week against the Sharks in the URC. 2 offloads as well. And that's good defense from Priso. But 2 lateral. Someone needed to be running a good line on the inside, maybe a little bit of depth and a plus option for Dixon on that blind. What an important player he is for the Stormers, the heart and soul of the team, if you will.
And an international call-up this year, Ben Jason Dixon. 3 of his 5 test matches coming in the Rugby Championship. 1 against each opponent, Australia, New Zealand and Argentina. Louw Nel has the bib off. Just 4 appearances in the Vodacom United Rugby Championship for Louw Nel. This would be an Investec Champions Cup debut for him. And inside half an hour, trouble in the Stormers loose trio.
The nerves. What a big game it would be for Louw Nel as well. But yeah, Ben Jason Dixon, my goodness. the warhorse, stands up to go back to the trenches and back to work. He'll have a little bit of treatment on the sideline, it looks like, so Louw Nel will get his opportunity. Big game for him.
Now down the tunnel for a head injury assessment. So Louw Nel recently made his debut in the URC. Now Champions Cup debut to go with it as well. 6 forwards selected on the bench by John Dobson. Baubigny. Contest from Van Heerden, but just out of his grasp for Ribbans at the tail.
Ball's not available yet. Now use it, please.
Dan Bigger is back as an option for Baptiste Serrin, who takes the responsibility of the clearance. He's just a wonderful kicker from the base. Leolin Zas gets the quick throw in going. Villiers brilliantly plucked out of the air and finds the man Domont to his inside. Ribbans cut down, flinging the ball out the back, wants to keep the pace going. Mark called. Bigger with just too much on the kick.
Yeah, Gabin Villiers, excellent play so far. Top player for Toulon, just about 30 minutes. Great covering from Warrick Gelant as well.
It's an excellent clearance off the free kick as well from Warrick Gelant, way back down into Toulon territory. A pretty assured game so far for Gelant. You can understand the speculative nature of the cross kick that was plucked out of the air by Gabin Villiers. Magnificent try, the only one scored by the Stormers so far. Brilliant finish in the corner from Warrick Gelant after Villiers' early score. It's another line-out ball for Toulon's captain, David Ribbans. Baubigny controlling at the back of an advancing maul. Out the back from Sanzel. And Treyan across from his right wing. Caught by the defensive rush. Turnover is good. Hartzenberg was looking for the inside ball. Smiley and Villiers. Oh, it is loose at times. Zas over covering off his left wing. Well, tempers continue to flare. There's plenty of passion in this one.
What a battle. Gabin Villiers, Leolin Zas and Suleiman Hartzenberg. What a touch that was as well. Over his head, soft touch onto his foot. He's on fire, Villiers.
Next one who starts it after the whistle, I penalise. Once the whistle goes, you stop. Next one I penalise. People coming in. Okay.
A little bit of French fire here. Leolin Zas attacking. There's the seatbelt from Villiers. Not allowed to do that. That's what the penalty is for. Not enough danger there for it to be a card. But this will allow the Stormers to get back into the Toulon half, and that's exactly what this game is all about, playing rugby in the right half, trying to piece together some play, because at that 5th, 6th phase, both sides are looking not as well organized as they'd like to be, especially in the wider channels. There are opportunities out there. Hold on to the ball, I think, would be the modus operandi.
Medics have had a busy afternoon as well. The contact has been real.
Vicious.
Dweba, down by Van Heerden. Theunissen. The best kick, charge down. Libbok gathering the ball off the hands of Sinckler, who made the charge down initially. Nothing on for the Stormers captain, so just dips into contact. A bit able to get his kick away that time. A little bit of confusion though in the Toulon ranks, away by Ludlam. Sinckler out the back. Ball floated away for Ruhan. Good tackle from Zas. Issa. Baubigny.
Yeah, use it, please.
Suleiman getting his kick away under pressure, but way too much depth on it. Gelant for Libbok. Finds Gelant back to his inside. Van Heerden. De Wet for Libbok. Here's Engelbrecht.
Hey.
Another carry for Marcel Theunissen, who has been busy since replacing Keke Morabe. Off the left boot of Manie Libbok. To test Dan Bigger. Quickly away for Domont. Serrin, caught by Ali Vermaak. Bigger's kick.
Inside.
Straight downfield for Warrick Gelant, who
Inside.
was able to gather inside his 22, and superb. Well, it's been a cagey game. We spoke about it. Most of it played between the two 22s, and we saw a hugely enthusiastic crowd at the start of the game, very welcoming. We saw an early wave, but a little bit subdued of late. But a kick of that quality has brought the crowd to life.
That's excellent. You don't see him kick often, but in this game, 2 or 3 kicks he has had have been fantastic. Just applies more pressure on Toulon, exactly what the Stormers need. When your fullback is controlling the game the way Warrick Gelant is, really got a good chance of getting points from these positions by applying pressure.
In 5.
Yet another line-out ball for David Ribbans. And Issa tackled low and spilling the ball in contact. The counter-attack is on. Libbok and Nel. De Wet. And Gelant just delaying the pass. Flicked on for Zas. Lost his footing as he tried to step. Engelbrecht.
No.
Louw Nel on debut. And penalty Stormers. An opportunity to level the scores or perhaps knock it into the corner. How confident are they feeling?
Well, the captain, Neethling Fouché, is responding beautifully to Warrick Gelant's wonderful territorial play. Great clean on Villiers. And now the fans really backing the Stormers that they've chosen to go for touch as well. Encouraging stuff. Last 5 minutes of the first half. I don't think that's a bad call.
Timing! Timing!
Earlier line out deep in Toulon territory, we saw the visitors competing and conceding meters on the drive. No contest that time, but over the 15.
Over 15. Use it, please.
And a wasted opportunity. Brilliant clearance from Serrin.
Mr. Rice.
45 meters on the clearance kick.
Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant from the captain of Toulon, David Ribbans. Getting in between Willie Engelbrecht while he's trying to give it to the Ripper in that maul. For me, I think the lifters just push him across the line, making it easy for Ribbans to get in between the Ripper and Willie Engelbrecht, and that's excellent play from the captain. There he is, well read. Ripper a little bit too far away. Remember, there will be some inexperienced young players there for the Stormers. Big moment for the Stormers, big moment for the Toulon captain.
You heard Carl Dixon in there saying the reason he was allowed there in the first place was the ball was over the 15.
Those slight inaccuracies in the Stormers' play so far in this first half. The breakdown, decision-making in the wider channels. And now a big line-out. Their line-outs have been brilliant. Joseph Dweba is thrown really well. Ruben van Heerden's called it quite nicely.
Enzo Hervé is on. Hearing that Dan Bigger has left the field for a head injury assessment. Ben Jason Dixon, you may see at the bottom of your screen there in jersey 7, he left the field for an HIA, and from what we're seeing, it looks as though he's been declared fit. Dweba for Van Heerden. Yet another carry at the Toulon midfield for Willie Engelbrecht. Little dink over the top from Manie Libbok, and beautiful gather from Zas. Two and a half minutes left, on halfway. Weren't able to convert their previous opportunity from line out. Wind does swirl around in the stadium, and it looks as though, if anything, it's been helping the Stormers in the first half of this game. Bit of a conference between the senior players. Now the decision has been made. He will kick for the corner, or at least for the 22. Didn't expect him to float it all the way to the corner from halfway. Excellent kick.
And good decision again from Neethling Fouché. I think they're feeling they've got some momentum here. They're starting to really dominate the contact point. They've got BJ Dixon back on the field. But huge battle between the number 8, Willie Engelbrecht, and Facundo Issa. Issa just coming in between Baldervet and the ball, not allowed to do that. And so, well, another opportunity, 10 meters from the try line.
Joseph Dweba shows the Port Elizabeth Lebecha crowd, the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium crowd, some love. After the first try scored by Warrick Gelant with an exceptional finish, Joe Dweba cannot contain his delight, and why not? The second of 2 tries, both converted by Manie Libbok. Half-time at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. DHL Stormers 14, Toulon 10. The DHL Stormers went behind early, grabbed the lead on the stroke of half-time. We're set for a wonderful second 40.
We sure are, toe-to-toe. Fight fire with fire out there. Fantastic captaincy from Neethling Fouché, leading from the front. Can't wait for the second half. What a crowd. Lebecha is on fire.
Dan Bigger left the field for a head injury assessment. He is back on, so Enzo Hervé is back on the bench. And we are hearing about another change. Diuta Wainingolo, the Fijian 7s and 15s international. There he is at the top of your screen, replacing Gaël Dréan on the right wing for Toulon. They got 1 try in the first half through Gabin Villiers, converted by Baptiste Serin, who added a penalty. They led by 10 points at 1 point. Then the Stormers hitting back with 2 converted tries to grab the lead at the end of the first 40. Libbok into contact. Now it's Warrick Gelant with a cross kick. Stormers playing into the breeze in the second half. Tapped back by Villiers, and then lost forward by Marius Domo.
No, No, I said in the first half, no, thank you. No, thank you.
Well, Carl Dixon getting strict. He said anything after the whistle. He warned both captains towards the back end of the first period that he would start giving penalties for off-the-ball niggles post-whistle.
Yeah, that's exactly it. David Ribbans, South African born. You don't want to make it spicy if you're Toulon. Don't get the Stormers excited. Don't get the crowd behind them. We saw the end of that first half. Neethling Fouché not taking the point, saying we're going to kick you to the corner, we're going to maul. And that's the exact kind of attitude the Stormers need against a fierce Toulon side. And Carl Dixon has really managed the physicality and the discipline very well.
How many have you got? Six people. Okay, thank you. Thank you, let's go.
6 in the line-out. It's Schickerling at the front, the receiver.
Once.
Stop called.
Still
profited from the last maul
K9
of the first half. Paul de Vet now told to use it by Carl Dixon. Toulon trying to keep that up, but the ball on the ground for the Stormers. Plenty of time for the Toulon defensive line to reorganize here. Van Heerden with a pick and drive. Backwards for now, and then an accidental obstruction there. You have to give credit there for the defensive set of Toulon. They defended the maul well at first, and then repelled the series of men coming around the corner.
Accidentally offside. Let's go. Mark's here.
Yeah, again, I think just the shape of the forwards letting them down. You could hear some growls and screams in the trenches as with a few of these pick and goes.
Let's go, lads, come on.
Halagahu, Dany Priso there as well.
Hit, hold. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Again, just not organized well enough and showing good enough composure when they're 5 meters out. Big opportunity there for the Stormers. And it's gone. A begging.
Well, that's 2 5-meter lineouts that they haven't been able to convert. The one before they scored was also a 5-meter lineout, which they went over the 15.
Sit! Hold!
Ironically, the ball they scored from was from about 10 meters out, and they did it on a second surge after the stop.
Wait. Go again. Wait.
It's so easy to be caught in a street fight. It's all about technique. And the bind, losing that bind there, they need to be very careful with that. Dany Priso together with Neethling Fouché.
Shoulder.
Carl Dixon was quick to jump on early engagement or not taking the hit in the first half, quite rightly so.
Bind! Sit! Hold!
Huge effort from the Stormers away by Serin. It was not a balanced kick from Daumont. Ruhan Nel was coming through to apply pressure on the kick. Toulon will get the throw.
Well, they're happy with everything. Defensive plays. This is a really good defensive play as well. Good pressure from Paul Delport. Ruhan Nel does so well to just keep on his line. And that's exactly what the Stormers want. Keep camping in the Toulon's half. 56% possession and territory in that first half. Stormers on top.
Last time.
Baubigny to the tail of the lineout. Halagahu. The lineout win for Toulon. Stop called. Serin. It's a phenomenal kick again. He just gets fabulous distance on those clearance kicks. You wonder how much more Test rugby that man would have played had it not been for one Antoine Dupont. certainly some similarities in the kicking game. The distance that he has got in both directions so far this evening, quite phenomenal. Such a great pressure reliever for your team. Just endured a few minutes at the start of the second half under intense territorial pressure. Find themselves back in Stormers territory. A fortunate grab for BJ Dixon at the tail of the Stormers line out as the ball missed JD Schickerling.
No!
Theunissen.
Thank you.
Man who replaced Keke Morabe early on in this contest. Morabe with what looked like a pretty serious knee injury. De Vet's hoist.
Knock on!
Forward of Villiers. And the Stormers can't.
Hold it. All I've got is a knock on at the moment. Just to him.
Joseph Dweba
Just go.
flew into contact there with David Ribbans. That's why Carl Dixon was quick on to
Dean, live I've got the player
whistle.
falling and the player coming in to make a tackle. I've got no foul play clearly live. All I've got is a knock on back here. Unless you've got anything different.
Agree with that.
Perfect. Just a scrub. No foul play because he's low. No, it's a knock on by going in the air.
It's the same problem as last action.
But the whistle had gone, he was trying to make a tackle. That was it.
It's the same.
For me, he was trying to make a tackle.
It's right on the
Different. It's a different.
It's quite intense out there, and it seems as though
I know.
further
All I
we
saw
get
was you fall into the ground, him making a legitimate tackle. That was it.
towards the 80th minute, the more intense the game is getting, but players are starting to control their aggression, which is great to see. Start focusing both sides on technique and trying to build phases. Seeing a little bit of rushed efforts, few mistakes here and there. Paul de Vet getting caught all in all. Marius Domon with a very good tackle. We know how
Blue players only
dangerous
play there.
they can be with transition play, and there it is,
Respect.
Joseph Dweba coming in. And I think that's just live action, as Carl Dixon mentioned. So low down, he's going for the ball first. I don't think there's any intent there.
GMO has reviewed it at Carl Dixon's request. It has been cleared. Scrum with a Stormers feed for the knock from Gavin Villiers.
Crouch! Bind! Set! Oh!
De Vet, du Plessis and Libbok drifting beautifully was Warrick Gelant.
9!
Drops the kick in for Leolin Zas, but that's brilliant from Wayne Ningolo.
Have an advantage. 9. 9, always in front.
Paul de Vet, the man penalised.
Always in front of the kicker advancing.
In front of the kick from Warrick Gelant, which meant that he was not allowed to advance and make a tackle. Beautiful drift from Gelant with the ball in the air. Get outside his man.
Yeah, he does beautifully. Warrick Gelant
9.
allows the ball to beat the man,
line, you've got to
shifts
come back.
outside. Good adjustment and catch up from Toulon to get on to try and just disrupt that kick through.
Huh?
Paul de Vet in front of the kick, obviously trying to get up in play to support that favorite scrum half support line on the inside. If there is a break, there's Herschel Jantjies getting ready.
Carnage!
The man taken in the air at the line out.
Tackle that ball.
Penalty Toulon, now back-to-back penalties. So from
And the
close to
15.
their 22,
And the 15.
on with an opportunity
Can't
to
just
set
knock
up inside the Stormers 22 with this
Yeah, but you
kick from
can't
Dan
just tackle a man
Bigger.
without the ball. Yeah, you can't tackle a man without the ball. If he had the ball, no issue.
So many chirps off the ball. Yes, Joseph Dweba clearly
You've got to wait for
catching
him
the
to
play. He
catch.
can't even see the ball if he tried to, Joseph Dweba. And a clear penalty there, but you just want to keep ice in the head, fire in the belly. Another easy penalty for Toulon.
Baubigny tap back on the Stormers side untidily. A lot of work for Dixon to do. And he does brilliantly.
First man on his feet.
Out of the 10. Over the top,
out of the 10.
Almost gone straight up in the air. And Stormers players caught, almost half the team caught inside that 10-meter radius.
Ball's going straight in the air.
Yeah, I think maybe it's a strategic substitute with Herschel Jantjies coming onto the game. He's a little bit more composed. That's a panicked effort from Paul de Vet. They needed to control things, get the forwards around, try both phases for that kick. But he rushes it and puts his forwards under pressure. No way they're going to get out of the 10 here. And so important for them to have exited there as well. Penalty now. Backs against the ropes. Have to defend their line with a 5-meter line out from Toulon.
10th appearance in this competition for Herschel Jantjies, capped 24 times by South Africa.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, drop.
Second last player to touch the ball in the 2019 Rugby World Cup final as he made the pass to.
Okay, perfect.
Well, he's looking bemused, Willie Engelbrecht. He's been shown a yellow card for collapsing them all.
Almost forgot what number he had on his back there, Willie Engelbrecht.
Oh, he can't, it's a more.
But what an opportunity, Marius Domont. Will the game come down to that if Toulon can't score here?
Time off. Right.
Take a look at this. They were moving forward quite rapidly, and you wondered how they went down without collapsing. There you can see Willie Engelbrecht, very clear penalty. Carl Dixon, another good call from the refereeing team.
Okay.
And a yellow card down a player, the Stormers. Not what they needed. I guess the off-the-ball physicality, a little bit of the mind games, the chirps are actually getting the better of the Stormers now.
Get your timing right on the insert. Don't come early. Two.
Baubigny.
In the 5.
Halagahu taken
inside
the 5-meter tram line and one stop called.
Okay, use it.
So good defensive job done so far. Serrin. Hold up for Priso. It's Carl Sinckler, I beg your pardon, who made the carry. Now Serrin. Halagahu. And they come short side again. Smiley. Home side need energy on defense here. Into the midfield they go. Another carry from Sinckler. Then over the top from Sonzel. And the ball lost forward. Excellent defensive set from the Stormers to deny Toulon.
Yeah, determination and grit. Neethling Fouché stopping that maul. Excellent counter maul defense from the captain, Neethling Fouché. A couple of the backline players putting their body on the line, making sure they make those tackles. There was a vicious attack here from Toulon. Lovely flick of the wrist, Jeremy Sanzien. And unfortunately, Giuta Waningolo was unable to keep his eyes on it. That's how tight it is. They've defended their line with true gutsball, fierce Stormers, and they've got Herschel Jantjies on the pitch as well, which I think adds a lovely composure to the game. They'll control these situations and make sure they get a good exit, try to get back into the Toulon territory.
Jean-Luc du Plessis receiving yet more attention. He has taken an absolute battering here this afternoon. Into the starting 15 for the team that played in the URC against the Sharks last weekend. For his cousin Dan, who was captaining that side. And it's a difficult one for Stormers management team. Just the 2 backline players on the bench. And one is Seabelo Senatla, who has not played for a very long time. It's a stunning tale of a comeback from extreme adversity. Former 7-star. probably feel a little bit too early to get him on at this point unless it's absolutely necessary.
Bind! Sit! Hold!
Willie Engelbrecht in the
Play
sin
it away
bin.
if you want to play it or reset. Okay.
Well, Saran chasing down on the kick of Manie Libbok. What a clearance. Wain Ngolo, quick to get things
On
going.
the shoulder.
No more. Taken down by Du Plessis. Saran. Bigger. Sanzel. Dipping under the crossbar. And Bigger will clear, but will not clear into touch. Warrick Gelant loves these opportunities from broken play. Jantjies. Van Heerden. Libbok tipping it up for JD Schickerling, who is met with an aggressive tackle. Jantjies, Dweba out the back. Gelant and Van Heerden. Clattering into Baptiste Serin, who's quick to get back in the defensive line. Little dab here from Warrick Gelant. Could have gone anywhere off the boot. Kept alive by the Stormers. Jantjies. Little handling error in there. Flicked on by Sinckler. Marius Domont with the clearance off the left boot. Villiers is giving chase.
Take him back in.
Takes it back into the 22. And the ball let go. Villiers will gather on the bounce. Puts the kick in. Libbok. Well, flicking away a forward pass. The net result is the same. It's a 5-meter scrum. Had he gone to ground, I suppose you can't blame him for giving it a try.
Yeah, I think it's time for that right now. Get the fresh legs on. Manie Libbok looking like he was running with a reserve tank there. Totally out of gas.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
And
stay.
it just allowed that defense to get up onto him and apply pressure. Toulon, fantastic kick chase. Here come the recruits. André-Hugo Venter scored the winner. The last time the Stormers played a French outfit, that was Stade Rochelet. Won that game 21-20. And fresh legs for Toulon as well.
An all-new front row. Mikael Ivaldi at hooker for Thierry Baubigny.
Let's go.
The Irishman, Danny Brennan.
I don't know, I'll find out for you next time.
Jersey 17,
Let's go,
replacing Dany Priso.
How long in the yellow, please?
The Georgian international, Beka
Let's
Gigashvili.
go.
44 test matches for Georgia, replaces Kyle Sinckler at tight end. Adré Smith on for Ruben van Heerden. In the second row, André-Hugo Venter.
8 carries, 23 meters. His opposite number, Willie Engelbrecht, 11 carries, just 9 meters made there. And I think that's the big difference. Tackles not sticking, not wrapping around the legs. A little bit too easy, but great play from Baptiste Serin to give the ball immediately to the juggernaut.
Baptiste Serin to put his side in front by 3. And another successful kick. So 2 conversions and a penalty for Baptiste Serin. And that penalty, the difference between the 2 sides.
Yeah, Baptiste Serin clever, gives it to Facundo Issa. And it's just too many missed tackles. Theunissen goes nice and low, but he's got to wrap that arm around. He's kind of just diving at the knees. Not effective enough for the strong, powerful juggernaut Issa.
Libbok looking into that strong breeze and picking out Lewis Ludlam.
Hey, use it, please.
Serran. Down towards Libbok. Has Warrick Gelant away
Come on,
to his
move.
left, and it's Gelant who gives chase to Libbok's hoist.
Contest.
The ball dished up for
Contest.
Herschel Jantjies. Dan Bigger is furious with the call from the referee. Jean-Luc du Plessis. Back towards some support on the left.
You can continue if you'd like to. Knock on. I've got a contest in the air. Knock on.
Lost forward by Dan Bigger. Willie Engelbrecht still in the sin bin.
Dan, listen. Firstly, don't screw with me. Secondly, it's a good contest in there and it's been confirmed. Please go back. Let's go. Yes, we do. Let's go.
Matthew Smiley.
Blue ball. Hold your space.
Into
Hold your space.
the final quarter of the game. 3 points the difference. It has been tense and tight throughout.
Down a player, the Stormers, so they're going to have to keep the ball tight. Try to really use the forwards to build phases. Huge task now for the forward pack in the next couple of stands of play.
Perfect. Let's do square. Square.
Just for our viewers, we do apologize for technical problem we're experiencing at the moment with the graphics. We'll keep you updated with the score from the big screen scoreboard and the clock that is ticking down inside the stadium. And as I say that, it comes back. So we're into the final quarter. 2 tries, both converted to each side, and at the moment a solitary Baptiste Serran penalty, the difference between the Stormers and Toulon.
Just gone up.
Marcel Theunissen picking up a loose ball. Baptiste Serran felt that he had rights to play. Adré Smith. The back from the Stormers and missing out on Ben Jason Dixon completely. Libbok to dance his way out of trouble. Jantjies, and beautifully away from Gelant for Schickerling. Suleiman Hartzenberg thinking there was an opportunity there to fill in at scrum half and make the break, losing the ball forward in contact. Antoine Frisch. Very loose kick from him gives Libbok the opportunity to open things up. Zas and Nel. And Frisch is back to gather the chip kick.
Okay, use it, please.
Serran. Adré Smith flying out of the line to make the tackle. Channeling his inner Herschel Snyman. Manie Libbok.
Maybe.
So Willie Engelbrecht has served his time in the bin. Saw Ben Jason Dixon going down the tunnel and Louw Nel coming back onto the field, and the other substitution that has been made is Seabelo Senatla for Jean-Luc du Plessis. But 8 points the lead with this kick to come from the try scorer. Been a stunning response from Toulon.
10 seconds!
25 minutes of the second half. Conceding the lead on the stroke of half time, but now Baptiste Serran putting them in to a 10-point margin, a margin they held early in the game.
Yes, Keke Morabe has already scored a try A fantastic finish, but it's through a big hit this time that has try scored that creates the try for Baptiste Sarah. Great footwork, easy finish for the scrumming.
Beautifully claimed by Jules Coulon. Coulon from Toulon.
Hey, well, use it please.
Serra. He's going to continue to ask questions with that boot. And
just mark it.
Warrick Gelant off the left boot has rolled the ball all the way over the dead ball line. He can hardly believe it. Arm up in apology. As we said earlier, playing into the breeze, but a healthy bounce and roll of the ball created more pressure.
Worries perhaps.
Last confirmation.
John Dobson, Ritu Hlungwani, the head coach there. But Warrick Gelant, unlucky with that one. I could see what he's trying to do there. Kicks it against the angle with his left boot. Hits it quite nicely. It's just unlucky, doesn't get the bounce at the right angle. Baptiste Sarra getting a little bit of attention. What a shift the front row has put in for the Stormers, must be said. Neethling Fouché, the captain, brilliant. Ali Vermaak did his job as expected. To have played almost 70 minutes in this type of a game, been physical, high tempo, been a little bit scrappy and loose, which makes it quite tiring for the tight five. Make no mistake, very tiring as well for Manie Libbok. But still enough time for a comeback, trailing by just 10 points.
Leon Lyons and Sazi Sandi await their turn. Perhaps one more scrum with the starting
Nice and stable. Crouch! Bind! Set! Hold!
Serra darting away and putting in the cross kick. Warrick Gelant happy to get that pass harmlessly into touch. There's a change for Toulon as well.
Eight black.
Yannick Youyut, 41 matches in the colours of Toulouse before making his way to Toulon in the 2023 season.
Okay.
And that double change in the front row.
Stand back on.
Lyons and Sandi for Ali Vermaak and
Number 8 is still on the field.
Fouché.
Number 8.
Facundo Issa,
Okay. Hold.
scorer of Toulon's second try, the Argentine international, the man making way
Good.
for Yannick Youyut. André-Hugo Venter straight over the top of his jumper and over the 15. Toulon just growing in confidence. Their tails are up. These 2 second half tries have boosted them. Youyut with a brilliant pass to his inside. Wonderful first contribution from him. And then Toulon marched back 10 for complaining at the penalty which was given for holding on.
Yeah, Sazi Sandi, lucky to have done just enough before not being on his feet. Showed Carl Dixon enough of the right picture there, but those 50-50s have been able to go the other way, just like that one right there. Close. How important was that for the Stormers to get?
Well, a spectacular effort from Gabin Villiers, acrobatic to try and keep the ball inside the field of play. Libbok looking for maximum distance, and as we've said a couple of times, difficult to judge this wind. Got away with it. They need to make this count now. 10 minutes and a bit of change. They need 2 tries.
Let's go, let's carry on. He's in the background. Let's go, let's go. Come on, let's go. Let's go. In 5.
Theunissen at the front of the line-out. Jantjies for Suleiman Hartzenberg. Villiers cleaned off well.
Got arms grasping.
Sazi Sandi.
No one's holding. It's a good contest.
Seabelo Senatla dropping back. And Villiers gets a foot in the way and gathers the rebound. Jantjies with a brilliant cover tackle. The pass intercepted. Hartzenberg keeps it in. Theunissen, Libbok, and Gelant. Do everything he can to keep this ball alive. It has to take contact. Engelbrecht, Libbok, Venter. Sonzel with the tackle. The carry from Marcel Theunissen.
Use it now, please.
Jantjies. That ball holding up into the breeze. Up goes Senatla. Dumont.
Use it, please.
Gathers for Toulon. I'll be happy to just manage possession here.
Use it, please.
Laid down.
I know.
I'm going to have to check the legality of that. Blood streaming from the nose.
Oh, he's going to go down. We've got it. I know.
Oh no, that's head on head.
I
That's a sickening blow.
Yeah, I mean, Manie Libbok, what a warrior. He's been taking the hits he's been taking.
Is it a clear
out here in Gqeberha.
Okay, so it will be reversed, but now we're looking at potential attack. Lads, just give me some space. Give me some space. Give me some space.
In that kind of a game here between the Stormers and
we have a clear obstruction. Then
Fire from France, south of France, Toulon.
And now
That's how they play.
Okay, thank you, Dean.
But yeah, way too high here. Sprinting, coming at a high speed, never really lowering his body enough.
Okay, Dean, I'm over at the screen when you're ready.
While the medics attend to Manie Libbok, and he is going to be stretchered off.
Got nothing on the screen at the moment. And can we make sure we play it from the kick?
Eyes only for the ball at that point. And
Dean, can you play it from the kick, please?
with a possible suspension.
Yeah, again, I think just getting ahead of themselves, the Stormers, they needed to be composed there. They needed one of the forwards to come in and assist André-Hugo Venter when he ripped away from that maul instead of a winger coming in to try and help clean there. So again, just unorganized in terms of positional play and responsibilities, and he gets it wrong. Leolin Zas, deserved yellow card.
So a two-man advantage quickly becomes a one-man advantage. What more twists and turns are we going to see in this contest? No points scored in the second half by the home side.
Over 15! Sack's good, over 15.
Dave Ribbans sacked over the 15-meter. Saran's kick. Straight up. Just a conversation between referee and assistants about whether that went forward. Play on is the call.
Must be on your feet. Must be on your
Just
feet.
rash. The indiscipline is going to be causing havoc in the coach's box. Had a real opportunity a couple of minutes ago, camped deep down.
You stay on your feet.
In Toulon
You're still going to
territory.
be on your feet.
And I'm not surprised, even a man down, that Dan Bigger is kicking this to the corner, even if they're not able to convert it into points. It's just valuable time spent down in the Stormers 22.
Yeah, it's all about prioritizing, and it's about the clock here now. Lovely double hit this here. Tackle the players backwards. About being off their feet and trying to play that ball. Willie Engelbrecht gets it wrong. It's not for diving onto the ball there. It's far enough out of the ruck enough. But ill discipline costing the Stormers. Sort of got a little bit too intrigued in the street fight.
Enzo Hervé onto the field again. He was on for an HIA for Bigger the back end of the first half, but now Dan Bigger leaves the scene. For Toulon to close out the game. No,
Some more.
not now.
Some more. Some more turnover.
Yeah, Baptiste Serra, just see the smiles from him. It's been that sort of a game. I think both sides got a little bit too involved in the play off the ball, and
Let's go.
unfortunately it's cost the Stormers more than it's cost Toulon. Even though they're down to 13 men, they seem to have managed the game and their aggression a little bit better than the Stormers.
Well, Mtunzi, we've got 3 commentary teams here in Nebeja today, and
Crouch.
the decision of the commentary teams is that man, Baptiste Serra, Toulon scrum half, score over try, brilliant off the kicking tee and with his tactical kicking as well, some brilliant distance on the clearances, a deserved winner of our player of the match award.
Yeah, he's been consistent, he's controlled the game really nicely, Baptiste Serra. And of course, Gabin Villiers, close second place. They could have gone either way. I think he's been an absolute superstar with the red scrum cap, the left winger for Toulon. But Baptiste Serra has controlled the game, been a great captain, and come away with what looks like should be a good win. Let's not say that just yet.
Bind. Set. Hold.
Penalty awarded. Need to move
18.
quickly. Hope of winning the game quickly disappearing for the Stormers, but they can still get something out of it by finishing within 7. A long way to travel upfield in order to do so. André-Hugo Venter, no contest on the throw to Schickerling. Engelbrecht. Midfield ruck. And Du Plessis flinging the ball away, but a late hit is called. Jean-Luc du Plessis.
Would have been a forward
From
pass. But late
Enzo
hit.
Hervé.
Okay.
Warrick Gelant with the clearance kick up to halfway off the penalty. This would have been called a forward pass, which it clearly was, within the late hit
Step.
from Enzo Hervé. Jantjies, Du Plessis.
Knock on.
And lost forward by Willie Engelbrecht in the midfield, and celebration from Toulon. They can sense that the job is now done. They trailed by 14 points to 10 at half-time.
Yep.
He scored the first try of the game through Gabin Villiers, a conversion and a penalty from Baptiste Serra. Put them into a 10-0 lead at one point, but 2 converted tries, one from Warrick Gelant and one from Joseph Dweba, the latter coming on the stroke of half-time. Gave the DHL Stormers a 14-10 lead at half-time, but their French visitors have denied them a single point in the second half. They've taken their opportunities brilliantly.
I can't go. I thought he was going to get up. Time off.
A try from Facundo Issa when the Stormers were down to 14, a quickly taken free kick from 5 meters out from the line, which he converted into the try. And then a try for Baptiste Serra, who has converted all the tries, added a penalty as well, and established the this 10-point lead with just seconds remaining in the game. Been a brilliant crowd here in the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium in Dweba. They came full of hope and expectation. And the Stormers, in their adopted home for this weekend, gave them reason to believe at the end of the first 40. But David Ribbans and his men can well afford to smile now. They have a scrum put in centre field. Some of the travelling supporters, their trip fully vindicated. And disappointment for the DHL Stormers fans. Disappointment for Leolin Zas, who
let's go.
flew into contact, earning a yellow card, giving Toulon the opportunity to kick for the safety of touch from close to their own try line. It was with just under 7 minutes to play, with Toulon down to 13.
Set.
Little fumble at the base of the scrum, so still one final opportunity for the Stormers here.
Okay, let's go.
Marius Dormont and Leolin Zas sitting a few meters apart in their respective chairs, having earned the yellow cards.
Crouch.
Yannick Uyut showing the red, the head contact with Manie Libbok.
Set. Hold.